at Hunters Point Avenue, Long Island Railroad Station. I hope I have this camera in the right orientation. Um, Anyways, what I want to do today is give a little update on my trip on the new Next Gen Acela. As you probably know, they went into service. First revenue service was on Thursday, last Thursday. So I rode Saturday from New York to Penn Station. I mean, from New York to Providence, Rhode Island. And I hope we're on horizontal. I don't know if you can see that. This is the last train out of Hunters Point Avenue today. Just got it. Um, I'm really a little concerned about this. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Here we go. So anyways, I just want to. So the first day was Thursday. I went on a Saturday, and I just want to give you my thoughts. Before I left, I made a point not to really look at other reviews because I wanted to try to give like an unbiased opinion. Since then, I've looked at a bunch, and a lot of the stuff is the same. Let me just fix this. Okay. A lot of things pretty much everyone agreed on, but I'll say boarding the train, it was beautiful. Very clean, just very sleek looking, very smooth looking. It was really nice experience seeing it. I was in car number 7, so I had to walk up a few cars to get it. So along the platform, the first thing I noticed was there was a wide gap between the car body of the coaches and the platform. And it was so wide that there's platform extenders beneath the doors, and I guess they activate before the door can be open. I mean, it's not like it's a foot wide gap, but it's pretty significant. You know, where they have the gap extenders. You know, making it easier for people with luggage or wheelchairs or whatnot. So anyways, that was the first part. Just seeing it was great. All the seats were reserved. I was in 11, row 11 of the car. And before I go any further, because I don't want to forget, the windows are big, but there's also 7 trains going here. The windows are huge, but there's also significant wall space between the windows, to make the train strong. And we had kind of like a half a window and a half a wall space. And I noticed that the odd rows had more of the wall space. The even rows had just pure window. So if you're in coach, when you're picking your seat, go for the even number seats rather than the odd number seats. I mean, you could still see out. And first class, I didn't see the first class coach, but I did see a review. Trains Are Awesome did a very good review. And they had a really bad seat in first class. It was like no window at all. It was all wall. And I think I don't even say which seat it was because I might be wrong, but it was like either 3 or 4. But anyways, if you're booking first class, just be aware of that. There is one row that really doesn't have any windows. But anyways, the windows are big, and each window has a nice pull-down shade. Everything was like super clean, super spotless. The shades were nice. They're pulled down, not like the old curtain-type shades. And thing is, the windows are so big that you kind of share a window with another set of seats, another row. And so if you don't agree whether the shade should be up or not, I mean, what are you going to do? But you can see through the shade, so, but everything was nice. Now, the seats themselves, first thing I noticed, everything's new and clean, and that's really nice. Because when you first sit down, you don't notice everything right away, but I did notice the footrest um, doesn't give you a lot of room. I'm very close to 6 foot, and it was a little cramped. And then when you put this footrest up, there's a protrusion from the bottom of it, and that's what you use to put your foot on to lower it down. And so that kind of takes up a little space if you wanted to put your book bag there or something. But so I noticed that. I know in another review, somebody that was like 5'8" said, yeah, it was a little even cramped for him. So, that's just one little thing. Now, the seats themselves, they do not recline. And there's a recline button, so, first I'm kind of fiddling with it, what's going on here. But they don't recline, and in a way that's not a bad feature because you're not going to impinge on somebody else's space, and the same thing for you. Your space is not going to be taken up with somebody putting their seat all the way back. So what they do, instead of having the seat go back, the back of the seat go back, the part you sit on slides out. I don't know, some people call it scooshes out. So you have that. The seats are kind of hard, and I thought, they really weren't comfortable. It's only a 3-hour ride. I got up like once, like 2 times, maybe. I got up 3 times. So it wasn't that long a ride, but I mean, they weren't that comfortable. And I saw in another review where someone said the seats need to be worked in or broken in. Need to be broken in. I'd never heard that before. I thought either seat was, ready to use and didn't have to be broken in. And then I heard it in a couple other reviews. So, what do I know? So maybe in a few months when they're broken in, they'll be a little bit more comfortable. But, the seats were a little not that comfortable. There's 2 plugs in the middle of the seats, which is really nice. Also 2 USB or ports. The old version, there was some adapters. I just used the plug. It was fine. I used the plug. It was great. I did like the winged headrest. I thought that was good. It was fine for my height. I know somebody a little taller, it might be a problem. Might not be tall enough because you can't move them up or down. But they were nice. And just checking my notes. I don't want to. But other than that, the trains, were very spotless. The bathrooms were very, very, very good. No more sliding those doors or, having to wrestle with the door. You push a button and the door slides open, and it's rounded. There's one in each car. There's plenty of space in the bathrooms for, if you have to bring a carriage in there with a kid or wheelchairs or whatever. Lots of space, very easy. One thing I noticed too, the sink is one of those, touchless, this is called. You put your hand under, it starts the water, and then I went to use the soap, it wasn't working, and then I found out later that the system they use, only one aspect of the sink can be used at a time. So once the water's going, you can't use the soap or the hand dryer until the water shuts off. Then you can go to the soap, go back to the water, and when everything shuts off, then the hand dryer should work. So, that's just something getting used to. There didn't seem to be any trash receptacle in the bathroom, but there was. It just was a little bit hidden, not like real obvious. But they're they're very nice. The bathroom's very nice, very clean. Um, the drainage in the bowl of the bath of the toilet didn't look to be all that big. I don't know why I noticed that, but I was just checking everything out. And later on, the car 8, the bathroom had to be taken out of service because there was a flood. So I don't know if that has to do with like these small outlets from the toilet, but anyways, it's the way it is. The bathroom's really nice, but one did go out of order, out of service. I did check out the cafe car. It was really nice. I like the grab and go. You can just pick your stuff, and you can look at it and not feel like you have to make a decision because there's a bunch of people waiting behind you. You can see the stuff, take it, and then you bring it up to the guy that was working there, and he cash you out. But they also have space for self-checkout. It wasn't in operation, but down the road. So that'll be great. Just get what you need, check yourself out, go back to your seat. And I just got like a little snack. It was good. Everything was good. So that part, good. The speed. For people that frequently ride the Northeast Corridor, they know like between New York Penn Station, New Haven, the speed limit is 75. So whether you're on an Acela or a regional rail, you're in Metro North, that's a speed limit, and so you're not going to get really high speed. However, in part of Connecticut, we picked up speed in Connecticut after New Haven. And then in Rhode Island, I got I didn't use my phone for the East River Tunnels right below us. That's that noise in the background. So I had this, it's really for cars, and it's, not kind of like another speedometer you can attach to your windshield. So I had that with me. And I clocked this at, I have it in a short video. I clocked this at 173. That was the fastest. And that was exciting. And you knew you were going pretty fast. But unfortunately on the Northeast Corridor, there's not a lot of miles. I think there's maybe 40 miles that have like speeds over 125 or 150, 160. But it was, it is what it is. And but the train handled it great. I just want to kind of focus on the train itself, the next gen Acelas. And here comes I can see it coming out of the tunnel. I think it is a regional. Yeah, it's a regional. So yeah, the speed, that was good. We got to Providence, and that was the destination. And one of the doors would not open. No big deal. We just go up to the next car. But I've seen other reviews where there were a little trouble with the doors. I guess having the platform extender underneath the door adds another mechanical aspect that I guess can go faulty. And it seems like the doors won't open unless the extender is properly engaged, which makes sense from a safety standpoint. So anyways, that was it. But those little things don't really bother me. It was a great trip, and I just want to say the staff on board was top of their game. They were attentive, they were enthusiastic. They seemed really happy to be at work, and it was really nice. It was a great experience. On the way back, after 3 hours on the train to Providence, and in like maybe 2 hours to get a bite to eat, took the Acela back, and took the regional rail back. And it was really nice to sit in one of those Amfleet seats, and have to say, the seats were comfortable. The car itself had seen better days. Obviously, I don't know if it's I don't think it was Amfleet 2. It was in business, but it's seen better days. It really needs a reset, or a big. But it was kind of nice, to appreciate them. I don't know how longer we're going to have them around, but everyone take your last rides if you don't ride Amtrak that much, because they'll be gone someday, But the other thing I want to say was, on the new Acela, the overhead bins are open, just like on a regional. The old Acela, or the classic, or the original Acela, had kind of like airplane style overheads where you close the compartment. I was talking to one passenger. He didn't like the open because it looked a little unkempt. I like it. I don't really like my trains to look like planes, but so they went back to the old school way, and I think it was fine. It was great. So just like the Amfleets, which have the open baggage above, the cars are a lot brighter than the regionals. They're better. They are better. I do miss those big old seats on the regionals, on the Amfleet. But just wanted to mention that. Let's see what else I have here. There is so each train set has 2 power cars, one on each end, and 9 coaches. One of the coaches is the cafe car. One is the first class, and the others are business class. And one of the business class is set aside as the quiet car. They hold more people than the original Acelas. They hold about 80 more people. I think it's 384, and the other ones were like 304, something like that. So that's good, and there's more train sets. The original set of Acelas had 20 train sets. The new ones, Next Gen, it's going to be 28. So hopefully they can add a lot more service. There's definitely a huge demand for service in the Boston to Washington corridor. I saw where the more people take the train than fly, especially in the New York Washington. It's like 37% fly and 63% take the train. With Boston, it's a little closer. It's like 46% fly and 54% on the train. So in terms of cost, I knew I was going to have to pay a little bit. I did have a coupon. If you're not a member, join the Amtrak Guest Rewards. So you can get coupons like 2 for 1, or upgrades from like business class to first class, or from coach to business class. And you can also use the points for using the Metropolitan Lounge. And the one at New York is really worth it. It is the best by far. And just want to say that. But other than that, I think I covered everything I wanted to talk about. One passenger said that it was a little too plasticky. I think you don't see a lot of metal. It's whatever type of plastic they use, like in planes too. There's a lot of composite materials or whatever. And it didn't really bother me too much, but yeah, I did notice it too. And at the Amfleet, for example, the footrest, it's like it's metal, and there's a pedal where you can adjust the level of the footrest, which is metal too. And I don't know. It just seems a little bit more solid, if you will. And also, the other thing I want to mention is the original Acelas, the classic or whatever. Their first day of revenue service was, I believe I wrote it down. It was December 11th, 2000. So not quite 20 years, and they're being replaced, and they've been in the process of getting replaced for a few years. There was some delays in getting this equipment, but to me, it seems like this type of equipment should last like 40 plus years, and maybe they'll refurbish them and put them back into service as some type of Acela Semi-Express, or but we definitely need the trains. There's definitely traffic for it, and with more capacity, maybe. And we got a little bit of horn show. Yeah, you can't really see it here, but this is like the beginning of the approach to Sunnyside Yards, Herald Interlocking. So there's a lot of action here. Long Island Railroad, Amtrak, New Jersey Transit. There's 4 tubes like under us that head into under the East River into Penn Station. One of them is out of service now. There's a lot of construction equipment here. They're totally rehabbing that. It's going to take a year and a half, and they'll do one other tunnel, and then they should be set for the next 100 years. So anyways, friends, I'm going to end it there. Thanks everybody for watching. I don't know who really was in the thing, but I'll post this, and people that missed it can watch it later. But that's my take, and I just want to conclude with it's good. Like as a rail fan and the other rail fans, you want it to be successful. You want it to be good. You want people to use it, enjoy it, and it is. It's not perfect, but what is. And if you get a chance, buy a ticket, even if you don't go that far. Boston to Providence, you get some high-speed action. New York to Trenton, you get some nice high-speed action. So take a trip and let me know what you think. Alrighty, friends, thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you want to like it, please do subscribe or share. It all helps. Anyways, stay safe and God bless.